Second Chronicles, chapters 4 and 5. He made a bronze altar 30 feet long, 30 feet wide, 15 feet high. Then he made the cast metal basin 15 feet from the brim to the brim, perfectly round. It was 7.5 feet high and 45 feet in circumference. The likeness of oxen was below it, completely encircling it, 10 every half yard, completely surrounding the basin. The oxen were cast into 2 rows when the basin was cast. It stood on 12 oxen, 3 facing north, 3 facing west, 3 facing south, and 3 facing east. The basin was on top of them, and all their hindquarters were toward the center. The basin was 3 inches thick, and its rim was fashioned like the brim of a cup or a lily blossom. It could hold 11,000 gallons. He made 10 basins for washing, and he put 5 on the right and 5 on the left. The parts of the burnt offering were rinsed in them, but the basin was used by the priests for washing. He made 10 gold lampstands according to their specifications and put them in the sanctuary, 5 on the right, 5 on the left. He made 10 tables and placed them in the sanctuary, 5 on the right, 5 on the left. He also made 100 golden bowls. He made the courtyard of the priests and the large court and doors for the court. He overlaid the doors with bronze. He put the basin on the right side toward the southeast. Then Huram made the pots, the shovels, and the bowls. So Huram finished doing the work that he was doing for King Solomon in God's temple. The 2 pillars, the bowls, and the capitals on top of the 2 pillars, the 2 gratings for covering both bowls of the capitals that were on top of the pillars, the 400 pomegranates for the 2 gratings, 2 rows of pomegranates for each grating, covered both capital bowls on top of the pillars. He also made the water carts and basin on the water carts, the 1 basin and the 12 oxen underneath it, the pots, the shovels, the forks, and all these utensils. Huram Abi made them for King Solomon for the Lord's temple. All these were made of polished bronze. The king had them cast in clay molds in the Jordan Valley between Succoth and Zereda. Solomon made all these utensils in such great abundance that the weight of the bronze was not determined. Solomon also made all the equipment in God's temple: the gold altar, the tables on which to put the bread of the presence, the lampstands and the lamps of pure gold to burn in front of the inner sanctuary according to the specification, flowers, lamps, gold tongs of purest gold, the wick trimmers, sprinkling basins, ladles, and fire pans of purest gold, and the entryway to the temple, its inner doors to the most holy place, and the doors of the temple sanctuary of gold. So all the work Solomon did for the Lord's temple was completed. Then Solomon brought the consecrated things of his father David, the silver, the gold, and all the utensils, and put them in the treasury of of God's temple. At that time Solomon assembled at Jerusalem the elders of Israel, all the tribal heads, the ancestral chiefs of the Israelites, in order to bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord up to the city of David, that is, Zion. So all the men of Israel were assembled in the king's presence at the festival. This is in the 7th month. All the elders of Israel came, and the Levites picked up the ark. They brought up the ark, the tent of meetings, and the holy utensils that were in the tent. The priests and the Levites brought them up. King Solomon and the entire congregation of Israel, who had gathered around him, were in front of the ark, sacrificing sheep, goats, and cattle that could not be counted or numbered because there were so many. The priests brought the ark of the Lord's covenant to its place, into the inner sanctuary of the temple, to the most holy place beneath the wings of the cherubim. And the cherubim spread their wings over the place of the ark, so that the cherubim formed the cover above the ark and its poles. The poles were so long that their ends were seen from the holy place in front of the inner sanctuary, but they were not seen from outside. They are still there today. Nothing was in the ark except the two tablets that Moses had put in it at Horeb, where the Lord had made a covenant with the Israelites when they came out of Egypt. Now all the priests who were present had consecrated themselves regardless of the divisions. When the priests came out of the holy place, the Levitical singers dressed in fine linen and carrying cymbals, harps, and lyres were standing east of the altar, and with them were 120 priests blowing trumpets. The Levitical singers were descendants of Asaph, Heman, and Jeduthun, and their sons and relatives. The trumpeters and singers joined together to praise and thank the Lord with one voice. They raised their voices, accompanied by trumpets, cymbals, and musical instruments, in praise of the Lord. For he is good, his faithful love endures forever. The Lord's temple, was filled with a cloud, and because of the cloud, the priests were not able to continue ministering, for the glory of the Lord filled God's temple.